Want to talk to you. 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Ross up in Lexington.
Lexington, Kentucky?
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you, Ross. What's happening?
Well, I echo everything that the others have said previously, but I really think to have kind of a little different take on it, and Tobin had a good point in the pregame show, which was the irony of playing the Texans today and looking at that big that trade that Greer made years ago, and he got all cute with, oh man, all these draft picks we get, we swap them for more draft picks, and the Texans have already they've already destructed their team, rebuilt, and have already more successful and going in the right direction than the Dolphins are. I mean, it's embarrassing. I mean, and at some point, I just think that blaming Greer, at some point you kind of got to look at Stephen Ross and just say, do you really care? I mean, you were talking about the fans that care. I mean, how long do you need to see somebody who's handing out these contracts in the offseason? We scored one touchdown today. We gave one guy sat on the sidelines today with his helmet in his hands, fully dressed out, and would not go after he's already gotten paid. He didn't have to worry about going into the offseason as a free agent getting hurt. It wasn't worth it for him to go out on the field today. And then, like you've already brought about, I'm not saying it's Tyreek's fault, but we extend Tua, we extend Tyreek, we extend the head coach who's all about offense. We score one touchdown in the biggest game of the year. This was what we had to have to keep it going. It didn't
sneak up on us, Stuart. This game did not sneak up on us.
That's right. So that's kind of all, and I hope Grant DeBose is okay, and I'll let y'all go.
Yeah, Stuart, we appreciate so
Thanks
much right there. Grant DeBose did have a nasty hit and an injury, it looked like. I mean, it was definitely an injury. Took a hit around the third quarter, and there was a 12-minute delay in the game. We have not gotten any news of that yet. We're just praying that everything is okay and that just a lot of precautions had been taken. But, yeah, the more and more Stuart says things, the more and more this Dolphins team just seems soft. They don't make big plays. They don't really dominate the line of scrimmage. They have two of the best receivers in the game. They're paying a ton of money, and they barely get them the ball. Yeah,
we've turned into a skill team and not a tough team, unfortunately. And it's not a good situation out there when you're getting manhandled on the field. As you saw in the last play, that interception right there, Tyreek got manhandled by Stingway there.
Yeah, he had the ball in his hand. He had the ball taken away from him, like taking candy.
He had the ball in his hands, and he had it taken away from him.
And I understand Tyreek's dealing with the wrist issue and everything like that, but still, make plays. You've got to make plays. But another thing is, in a statement game, you get zero. I know Waddle didn't play a lot because of the injury, but you don't go to Waddle very often. Tyreek Hill has 2 catches. Your star players are the ones that carry you in big games. Malik Washington, great rookie, good rookie. He shouldn't be leading your team in yards. He shouldn't. Tua, I mean, I know you're trying your hardest. You can't just throw it to the other team. If you want to win big statement games against good teams, you have to step up and make big plays. You can't, Jason Sanders, you can't miss extra points. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I'm sorry. I know he was special teams player of the month last month, and he's made all these 50-yard field goals and stuff like that. Well, you change the game when you missed an extra point last game and this game. Last game, it's over in regulation. This game, you have a chance to drive down the field and either tie it or win it with a touchdown and an extra point. Although, maybe we should start going for 2 more. I don't know. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines, 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jackson Lazar.
What you got?
From South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. I watched the game today, and we look awful. We look so bad that, the offense were, they were, horrible. And, defense, did really good. They had some stops, but we made Texans look like they're, a really good team.
Yeah, Jackson, they looked very comfortable with everything that we were doing and they were doing today. It seemed like we didn't surprise them at all.
But also the Malik Washington thing, he's only a rookie.
Right.
Why are you throwing him the ball? Get Rican, get Johnny Smith a little bit more some targets. And also Grant DeBose praise him, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a big guy from Packers, went to the Dolphins, got cut in the offseason, signed a big deal with the Dolphins. But prayers to him, man. Big hit, but that's crazy.
Man, Jackson, you can see it all the way from South Carolina. I can tell you know your football right there, and I can tell you've probably been screaming at the TV a little bit.
Yeah.
I understand, man. Well, you're a true Dolphins fan. We greatly appreciate that. That's Jackson in South Carolina. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to see. Malik Washington's good, but is that what you're doing? You're going to say, I'm going to favor, and I understand the defense takes certain things away, but you got to figure things out, man. I'm sorry. When you're playing at the highest level, I'm going to expect you to coach at the highest level and to scheme at the highest level. And I know maybe I'm guessing these are plays early on called for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but Tua has to check down for some other reason. Once again, find ways. They found ways at sometimes to get at the Tyreek Hill late in the game on that, was it a third or a fourth down?
Yeah, I mean, they did find ways on there, but to me, it all goes back to roster construction. If you look at this team, I mean, it goes back to backup quarterback at the start of the year, what you're thinking there. Skyward just got cut yesterday, finally. I mean, you're starting street free agents, basically. I mean, it is not a good situation when, Berrios goes down, you lose, you actually cut OBJ, who was supposed to be your third receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're on your fifth receiver, basically. Actually, probably sixth and seventh, because when Waddle went down, I mean, it's not a good situation there. The offensive line, you're basically put together with chewing gum out there.
And I don't want to pile on Jackson Carman because, like I said, he kind of just came off the streets and he's been practicing. There was times in the game he played okay. There was times he also he got eaten alive, which is understandable.
I mean, the guy played at Clemson. I mean, he's not. I mean, he played at a top flight program in college, but there's a whole difference between college and the pros, and obviously you can see that.
He was a second-round pick back in 2021. But once again, to just throw him in the mix and say, stand in front of first of all, very good pass rushing team in the.
Oh, Anderson is scary.
Some of those guys, I mean, they're one of the tops in the league. So when you put bubblegum offensive line together, there's going to be some issues. I thought that the offensive line, though, for who they were, the personnel they had, and the lack of what you would call chemistry that they had, I thought that they did a good job. Some of that, maybe you got to give credit to Mike McDaniel. Maybe he got plays that where Tua Tagovailoa could get the ball out quickly and minimize that. But there was also times when those Texans were running free.
And that's the one thing that we'll never find out the answer to, but I'd love to know how much of this was called by McDaniel and how much of it was audible by Tua.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time I'm kind of wondering where these boneheaded plays are coming from. Is it Tua making the plays, or is it McDaniel saying, hey, this is the play I'm calling, go with it. I know what I'm doing. I know better than you.
I think in all things, it's a little from column A, a little from column B. We know Tua is a lot more confident and a lot more assertive than he used to be. And now you're starting to see some plays a little bit different. And
I mean, it's not like back in the day when you had Dan Marino out there and, hey, you trust him to do whatever you want to do. Hey, you want to audible all day? Be my guest. Check out, no problem. But now I'm kind of wondering, number one, with the talent that you're surrounding him with, okay, you finally got him a tight end now. After how many years he's been playing for this team? Great. You got him a tight end. Running backs. Okay. Mostert is really banged up.
Yeah.
Achane's not doing much. The whole running game is almost non-existent right now.
We're Game Day Uncensored, so we can be real about it. Jalen Wright has done nothing this year. Nothing. And you can say you haven't given him the ball. There's a reason he's not getting the ball.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing that I'm kind of, you're already looking at that draft pick is
whatever.
But at least Chop Robinson is coming through finally.
Hey,
so at least that's one that actually has come through.
And that's the thing. I gave Chop a little more of an opportunity because I learned from Jalen Phillips. We piled on Jalen Phillips early the first 4 or 5 games in his career and said he was a bust. And then he finished the season great. There's obviously a learning curve. That's why we gave Chop Robinson a little more time, and look at what he's doing now. He is our best pass rusher. He gave CJ Stroud some fits today. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines, 560 WQAM.
Yo.
What's your name, bro?
My name is Xander, man. I'm calling from Dallas.
Oh, Xander. What's going on?
What's going on, man? I'm a long time listener. I'm glad I'm on, man. I got so much to say, but I ain't gonna hold you too long.
Nah, get it out, man. We got all night.
Listen, that graphic that came on the screen that said 25% of our passes are behind the line of scrimmage, that is awful, yo. Like,
Leads the NFL.
Tyreek is only a threat to a cornerback if he's actually running at them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. And then we got Greer. That's the worst GM we've had in a while. And people don't realize it. He drafted Cam Smith. You let Xavier Howard lead. We got Fuller, the other brother Fuller. He's just like his other brother. He don't do nothing either. You get what I'm saying? I don't know, man. This team trash, man. This team is done. They gotta blow it up.
You know how many years Chris Grier has been with the Dolphins? Not in GM, but in some front office position.
I know.
How many years?
A lot of fans don't realize he's been in the back, and what they've always done is said, "Oh, it wasn't him. He wasn't making the picks." He's made these last couple of picks.
Mm-hmm. He's been with the organization 25 years. Lo and behold, how many years has it been since the Dolphins have won a playoff game?
About the same.
25 years. It's been exact. Now, like I said, he's been in other positions. He hadn't always been GM, but yeah. And you do bring up a really good point, Xander. When you have guys like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, even a Jonnu Smith, what's your advantage with them? Putting them
when they're moving down the field
fast, coming at guys full speed, and making those defenders have to keep up, and you minimize their mobility. When you're throwing passes behind the line of scrimmage, you're starting at a dead stop instead of full speed.
Yeah, it's no threat to the offense. I got one more thing too. We got I don't know if you remember when they voted us the number one team. I guess like players love to play for us. I can see why. They come here and get paid and they do nothing. Like, I would love to go to Miami too. They just paid Odell a couple million for what? 6 catches?
Nine catches, 9 games.
Yeah, this team crazy, man. They gotta blow it up, man. I'm done with this team. I'm not supporting them. I'm not going to no more games. I'm not buying no more merch. I'm done. I'm done with the team. I'm done with Tua. I'm done with Greer. I'm done.
You're not the only one, Xander. A lot of people are saying that, and he does bring up a good point. Maybe you're kind of towards the end of your career. You're looking for a little bit of a semi-retirement. You see, Mike McDaniel doesn't really pound down on you too much, and you can come to Miami, make some money, live in South Beach, go to Brickell, practice a little bit, play a little bit. Win a playoff game. Well, I mean, they haven't won one in 25 years. Yeah. Well, the Calais Campbell's come here and just balled, so you got to give him credit. But I can see where maybe if that's true or not true, it does make somewhat of sense.
I mean, hey, this is where people go to retire.
It is. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines, 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joe from Miami. How you doing?
What you got, Joe? I'm not doing great, but, I'm still happy.
Listen, somebody made a point. Miami's a nice place to retire to, but say you see an 18-year game season now. You get some of those old men, so they're going to fall apart any faster. But I'll tell you, Miami's passing game is a spot game, and everybody's figured out.
Yeah.
They know where the passing will end up. So you can't be getting much yardage anymore.
I think that is part of it. I think that some teams have figured them out, man, because we just don't go downfield at all hardly anymore. And if we do try it, it doesn't seem to be very successful. And even when we kind of go medium, look at what happened. We had a couple interceptions. We had Tyreek Hill get that interception taken out of his hands. Jonnu Smith caught that touchdown, although that wasn't a deep pass. Yeah, he's got to be able to scheme up better. I'm sorry. I'm gonna hold the coach to it. You've got to be able to scheme up better and get the ball to Tyreek Hill and get the ball deeper to these guys. Find a way.
Let me close out with a comment about Houston. They're going to no place with Stroud. That guy can't throw a medium pass or anything. Everything's low. It's at the ground. He's missing receivers left and right.
Yeah, CJ Stroud, though, I thought he did a good job extending plays today. I thought he used his legs very good to kind of extend some plays. I didn't think he was spectacular, but when he did kind of extend plays, that's how he got his 2 touchdowns. It's also, he got a couple other big plays out of it, but CJ Stroud was definitely not unbelievably exceptional today, but I will tell you what was exceptional. Dolphins defense. Got to give them pride. Give them some credit. 305-567-0560. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Gordon.
Gordon, break it down.
So let's figure this out. We've got Devon A-Chain, we've got Tyreek Hill, we've got all these guys on offense, and we score no points.
no points. We scored 12.
We spend all this money to secure all these players, whether it's the quarterback, the 2 wide receivers, drafting get all these like stockpile running backs, this tight end, and we still can't score against good teams. Mike McDaniel now, what's the stat? He's 1-17 or 1-16 against teams with a winning record. And he's 0 whatever against playoff teams on the road. So I guess according to the Dolphins, he probably deserves another 3-year extension, right?
Man,
I mean, I'm just like I don't know really kind of like where you go with all this, because like the other guy said on who's sharing the microphone with you, they've spent a ton of money on a bunch of guys. They put all their money in on 2 wide receivers, and they're untradeable. And this is not like the NBA where you can move salaries and you're trading salaries and you can move, like we signed Hassan Whiteside to some ridiculous contract, yet we were able to move that very, very easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to move contracts in the NFL. And I just think we're stuck.
And they're aging. Well, Waddle's not aging. Well, Waddle is aging, but Waddle's still very young. Tyreek Hill is starting to get older. And
but I mean, Waddle didn't do anything this year. He had like 1 or 2 games where he did something, but he had Tyreek Hill who gets all the attention, and yet he couldn't put up any numbers. So it's like what? And our running backs, our best, we didn't have a running game really this year. Our best running plays are these screen passes to Devon Achane or to the tight end. I'm just like, what do you do next year? And it's just like I was all dead on set as like, when things were going bad, let's just lose every game and get Cam Ward next year, and let's just start it and figure it out. And that now we can't get that guy, so we're going to go back. What can we realistically? This season's over. I don't want to hear tomorrow morning Joe Rose say to me at 6 a.m., "Well, we still got a chance." This and that. It's over. So it's like, what do you do? I'm already done with this year. What do you do next year? There are no solutions. What are you going to do? Go back with Bradley, with Chubb and the 2 pass rushing guys that couldn't even stay on the field this year?
yeah,
One guy couldn't even play on the. I mean, we have nothing. I don't even know what the plan is next year.
Another thing, Gordo, I want to ask you: does Chris Greer realize we're not fielding a 7-on-7 team, that you have to have offensive and defensive linemen in depth?
Well, I think listen. Remember there was that comment that he made before the beginning of the season that we're fine with the offensive line, and this and that, and he kind of chuckled, "We'll be okay." I mean, I think I don't really think. Listen, it's going to be very difficult to get rid of Mike McDaniel after they sign him to a contract. But if they get a new general manager, I'm not sure that general manager may necessarily want to keep this guy. I mean, the reality is, you just said in the other call, everyone has figured out this offense.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
Well,
we didn't throw one bomb this year. I can't even. The last time we threw a 50-yard bomb to anyone.
The reality is this, Gordo, and I do want to say this: I do like Tua Tagovailoa. I think he is an elite quarterback. But
he's not elite. He's not elite.
Gordon, I'm going to give you this: the numbers don't lie, though. And like I said, look at his wins against good teams. Look at his losses against good teams. Look at his cold weather performance. Those numbers don't lie. So when I say he's an elite quarterback, you can come back with those stats, and you know what I can say to that is
he's a good quarterback against. Right, he's a great quarterback against the Jets. Okay, he's a great. Is he a great quarterback against Buffalo? No. Is he a great quarterback against Kansas City? No. Is he a great quarterback against Green Bay this year? No. Is he? I mean, you can go down the list of all the games against really good teams. Is he a great quarterback against the Houston Texans when we need to win the game to stay in this thing? No, he's not.
Gordon, I can't argue with you. I'm saying in a court of law, I could not argue with you. You bring up a very good point, and we're
stuck with them.
We're stuck. I don't know if there's any other options.
Everyone who says let's go get another quarterback. Everyone, we are stuck with this guy for the next 3 or 4 years, and there's nothing we can do about it because this general manager, this guy. Listen, the reality is this: Tua got very lucky. He didn't get hurt last year. And that's why he was able to get that big contract. Mm-hmm. So he was very lucky. If he got hurt that year, we wouldn't have kept him.
No, or we wouldn't have paid him. We'd have played out this last year.
We wouldn't have paid him. We would have played out this year, and then we would have said, see you later. Because we would have been 7-10 or 8-9, missed the playoffs, and it's time to move on. We're stuck.
Yeah, we seem to be stuck. 25 years now. It's good looking like that we will not be winning a playoff game, Gordon. We're ride or die, man. We appreciate you so much.